Now, what is this Salwa Judum? The Chhattisgarh government created, along with a gentleman called Mr. Mahendra Karma, who is the leader of the Congress party in the Chhattisgarh Vidhan Sabha. So Mr. Mahendra Karma made common cause with the BJP government in Chhattisgarh and created an organization of tribals to displace other tribal groups from the villages where they lived in a district called Dantewada district, which is the southern part of the Bastar district in Chhattisgarh. I just want to read you a section from the report of where the state makes war on its own people. In June of 2005, this Salwa Judum was started, and the Chhattisgarh government called it a spontaneous movement of the Adivasis against the Maoists in the jungles of Dantewada. We investigated this phenomenon and we found since June of 2005, Dantewada district, formerly part of Bastar district, Chhattisgarh, has been in the news for an alleged uprising of Adivasis against the Communist Party of India, Maoist. Most media and official reports describe this movement, known as Salwa Judum, as a spontaneous and self-initiated reaction to Maoist, what they called, the newspapers and the government sources called it Maoist oppression, and hailed it as a turning point in the fight against Naxalism. The government hailed it as a turning point in the fight against Naxalism. At the same time, a few reports indicated that people had been displaced in large numbers and were living in miserable conditions in camps. While this was officially attributed to Maoist threats and retaliation against those joining the Salwa Judum, stray news also came in about the forcible emptying out of villages as part of the government's anti-Maoist policy and of excesses committed by members of the Salwa Judum and security forces. A 14-member team from 5 organizations conducted an investigation between 28th November and 1st December 2005 in Bijapur and Bhairamgarh blocks of Dantewada district, focusing specifically on the violation of human rights and the impact on people's everyday lives. The organizations are People's Union for Civil Liberties PUCL Chhattisgarh, People's Union for Civil Liberties PUCL Jharkhand, People's Union for Democratic Rights PUDR Delhi, Association for the Protection of Democratic Rights APDR West Bengal, and the Indian Association of People's Lawyers. The information in this report is based on A, discussions with government officials and paramilitary forces, B, interviews with people in Bhairamgarh, Matwada, Mirtur and Gangalur camps, C, discussions with people we met in villages that we visited, D, interviews with leaders and members of the Salwa Judum, and E, discussions with fact-finding members of a CPI team, which was separate from our team. We have also relied on the CPI's open letter to the Prime Minister dated 16th November. The CPI, the Communist Party of India, that is a parliamentary party that has units in Dantewada and that also has members in parliament, which is quite separate from the CPI Maoist. This parliamentary party wrote an open letter to the Prime Minister dated 16th November 2005 detailing their findings, 2 CPI Maoist press releases dated 10th October and 20th November 2005, etc. On the basis of the fact-finding, 3 facts stood out strongly all of which ran counter to the government's assertions. First, it is clear that the Salwa Judum is not a spontaneous people's movement, but a state-organized anti-insurgency campaign. Second, it is misleading to describe the situation as simply one where ordinary villagers are caught between the Maoists and the military. Tens of thousands of people are now refugees in temporary roadside camps or living with relatives with complete disruption of their daily lives. Prospects for their return are currently dim. Third, the entire operation, instead of being a peace mission as it is claimed, has escalated violence on all sides, including the violence from the Maoists. However, only the murders by Maoists are recognized by the media. And the Salwa Judum and paramilitary operate with complete impunity, including raping women, murdering villagers, setting fire to villagers' houses. The paramilitary and the Salwa Judum have been doing these activities with impunity. That means without any fear of justice. The rule of law has completely broken down. The team's observations, the final conclusion, the brief observations. Several villages are virtually deserted. The few we came across said they came to the villages during the day to harvest the paddy crop and return to the camps as the evening falls. Those who are now kept in camps, some distance from their homes, can't even do this. 2, there is a pattern in evicting people from their villages. Sometimes the entire village is evacuated. In other instances, only a few families are moved out. A meeting is announced to be held in a targeted village. On that date, a Salwa Judum crowd accompanied by security forces descends on the village and asks people to come to their camp and Sangam members to surrender. If the villagers show reluctance, they are attacked, belongings looted, houses burnt, and some people either lynched or killed by soldiers. 3, across Dantewada and Bijapur, police districts and especially all along the national highway, security forces and Salwa Judum members man checkpoints. Everywhere we went during the course of our investigation, Salwa Judum members would be manning the checkpoints and they would halt us and search our jeep. The Salwa Judum activists question people, check their belongings and even enjoy the power to stop a person from traveling in this area. Police stations do not maintain records of or investigated crimes committed by the various Salwa Judum members and the various security forces. While development is said to be the flip side of the security approach towards Naxalites, development in this area is nothing more than an appendage of security. The administration is undertaking a systematic militarization of Dantewada through the arming of the village population. Sections of the Salwa Judum were issued guns by the government, including young boys and girls, 16 years, 17 years, 18 years old, were issued guns and they were given a monthly salary of 1,500 rupees per month. And they were supposed to help the police in their activity. Their main activity was displacing people from their villages. Why was the government interested to displace people from their villages? The Bastar area of Bastar that we are talking about is one of the richest sources of minerals in the world. We have iron ore, we have uranium, diamonds, tin, bauxite, you name it. That mineral is present in these areas of central India.